This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by trainer Tony Sims here in London. Tony, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks, Andy.
Glad to hear it. Obviously, the rematch is here. Chris Eubank Jr., very vocal as always. Any takeaways from that press conference today? Conor seems a lot more kind of relaxed and chilled in comparison to maybe the first fight and the press conference and the build-up.
Yeah, it's like I said, Andy, he had to tick a lot of firsts off, and obviously it was his first fight in like nearly a year and a half last time. You know, first fight in a big stadium, first fight up at middleweight, and obviously he's had his first loss, so there was a lot of boxes to be ticked, but he's ticked all them boxes off now. He's kind of been there and done it, and the experience he's gained from that first fight, you know, he's something he just can't get, and you know he's gained that now, and I believe that technically he's a lot better fighter than what we see the first time around. As I said in the press conference, he was emotionally involved in the fight, and where he hurt Chris early on in the fight, he said to me afterwards, I thought that, you know, any clean punch that I land would take him out. I believe that I was hurting him, but obviously that's what he went for, and I think the game plan we had, you know, he didn't stick to that. But like I said, he's been there and done that, and he's more in his head now. He'll be more calmer. And it's like I said earlier as well. If you watch the Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank Sr. first fight, it was a bit like the same thing where Nigel believed that he could knock Chris out. He got emotional with the pressers and everything they'd done, and then the second time, he was a smart fighter the second time, and everyone know that he beat Chris Eubank Sr. the second time around, and I believe that Conor Benn will follow suit in that. I don't believe Chris Eubank's got any more than he showed that night. At 35, I don't believe he's got anything more to give, and I believe that Conor technically will be a better fighter on the night.
You've mentioned the word emotion a few times there, Tony. Obviously, you know, everybody in the team, Eddie included it, and what have you, have said that word with regards to Conor's performance in the first fight. Nigel mentioned that as well. What conversation do you have to have with Conor to make sure that that doesn't happen the second time around, or is it simply because he's experienced it, you're assured in your own mind, you're assured as a team, now he's got that experience, it won't happen again?
Which, like you said, you can see in his demeanour that he's a lot more calmer. I don't think you've got to have any conversation. I think he knows, he'll tell you himself. You know, it was the first thing that he come out with the next day, like he was too emotionally involved and he wanted to just rip his head off. He said that all the way through. And, you know, from I've trained Conor since he was 19, and technically his technical ability, he's unbelievable, and he's got a great boxing brain as well. But that all went out the window on that night, and I don't believe it'll go out the window on the next fight. I believe that he'll be there calm, and he'll be there to do a job on Chris Eubank Jr. the next time, and he knows Chris can't hurt him. He wasn't hurt at any time in the fight, and he, as I say, he's boxed up at middleweight now, so he knows what that feels like, and I believe the next time around it'll be a different fight.
Just one more on that, Tony. In terms of doing a job on him, as you've just said, going into the first fight, Conor was adamant he wanted to get that knockout, he wanted something vicious. Is his mentality different now? Is it just a case of he just wants to win, he just wants to right the wrongs, he doesn't care if he goes the distance, doesn't care if it's by knockout?
Yeah, obviously he wants to win the fight, and you know, that's obviously the number one game plan in his head, that he wants to win a fight. But secondly, he knows he's got to be smarter to do that, and I believe that technically he will be smarter in the next fight, and of course he still wants to knock him out, but you have to build into that, and I believe he's got the power to do that, and I believe he's got the technical ability to do that as well.
That's one from me, Tony. Obviously, we recently had the really sad news about Ricky Hatton passing away. I know that Ricky obviously became quite close with Conor through his battles over the last couple of years. I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on seeing such a legend of British boxing, unfortunately, pass away.
Yeah, like you say, Ricky is a legend in British boxing or in world boxing, and you know, I think everybody in boxing kind of knows Ricky personally. I don't think there's probably anyone that hasn't met him personally in boxing. As you know, it's a small community, and like you say, I think it's knocked everyone sideways. I know putting that up on the screen beforehand, what we didn't expect. Like, it knocked Conor a little bit sideways afterwards. He was in tears in the changing room afterwards, because obviously he knows Ricky on a real deep personal level, and when Conor was going through all them troubles that he had, Ricky was one of the few people that stood by Conor, you know what I mean? So it's a massive loss to the whole of boxing world, but especially his family, you know. You can imagine how they're feeling. And, he was a very loved person in boxing, a great fighter, two-weight world champion, and he'd be sadly missed.
As it goes without saying, all of our thoughts and condolences go to the Hatton family and their friends. But Tony, obviously, I'll leave you now to go and catch up with the team. Thank you for your time and good luck with Cam.
Thanks, Andy.